Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am excited to be here with you for another amazing session of the African Father in America podcast. I am live streaming on YouTube, and I am also live streaming on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to join me for today's conversation. I love being here especially to bring you these beautiful African proverbs. So if you're watching on TikTok, let me know where in the world you are joining me from. If you're watching on YouTube, share your comments so that I can give you a shout out during the course of our show today. As usual, I come here with a beautiful African proverb that is going to ground our conversation today. Remember, every day during the African Father in America podcast, there's a new proverb that I bring, and we dissect this proverb in order for us to learn something new, and in order for us to also make our ancestors proud and make them smile. So I have this proverb from Kenya, and it says that people don't count what they get. People don't count what they get. They count what they don't get. Have you ever been in a situation where you feel that you are always counting what you don't get? I feel like that sometimes. I feel like that when it comes to the work that I do for my non-profit organization, One Vibe Africa. A lot of the time I feel that I only count the number of grants that I have not received. I don't count the number of grants that I have received. A lot of the time we find that we only count the problems that we have, but we don't count the blessings that we have. So this proverb, is reminding us that many people don't measure the successes by what they have achieved. They don't look at, their success, their education, where they live, the food that they eat. They don't look at how healthy they are. A lot of the time they look at the things that they are hoping that they can accomplish. If you're watching this from Africa, whether it's in Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, Ghana, many of us who are living in the motherland, we are always dreaming about going to the diaspora and living abroad somewhere, and dreaming about this beautiful life that we could one day have somewhere far from home. But again, once you get that, you begin dreaming about something else. There's always something to be accomplished. There's always something to be done. So this proverb is teaching us that life is not about having everything. It's about striving for something greater and learning from the journey, even if it doesn't end in success. So I have 3 nuggets of wisdom that I want to share with you today. Remember, every day for every episode of the African Father in America podcast, we bring to you beautiful African proverbs, and our hope is that you gain some wisdom from these proverbs that we bring you, and so that's also the hope today. And so to just continue on with our conversation, I just want to first thank everyone who is joining us on YouTube. I see you. I want to make sure I give you recognition and I give you a shout out. So I do see brother William Jackson. I see you there. I see Kesiwa, and I see M. Jewel. I see that William Jackson is joining us from Florida, and of course Kesiwa is joining us from Antelope Valley in California, and MJ, remind us about where you are joining us from. I am actually in Seattle, Washington. This is where I live. A lot of the time I am in Seattle or I am in Kisumu, Kenya, just between those two places. Those are really my worlds. So if you're joining us for the first time and you're watching this on YouTube, I would love for you to take a minute so that you can subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up, so that when we are live again tomorrow and the days to come, YouTube can notify you. YouTube can notify you. So these are the 3 nuggets of wisdom that were inspired by today's proverb. And remember, if you haven't had a chance to look at today's proverb is from Kenya, where I originally come from, and it says that people don't count what they get, they count what they don't get. People don't count what they get, they count what they don't get. This is really not even people, Even animals sometimes behave like this. I don't know if some of you who are watching are dog owners. A lot of the time, I have 2 dogs in my house. And so a lot of the time, I have fed them and they still want the food that I'm eating. So this proverb reminds me of that. I don't know if it's just all living things that behave like this. But let's see what these 3 nuggets of wisdom say about this proverb. Number 1, appreciate what you have, forget about everything that everybody else has. We all have a tendency to compare ourselves to other people, but what if we took a moment to just appreciate what we have, the health that we have, the life that we have, the relationships that we have, the community that we have, before we think about what we do not have. Number 2, don't compare yourself to others. Exactly what I was speaking about. A lot of the time we went to college with some people and we want to get similar jobs to them. We want to be in similar situations to them. We want to have children like them. We want to have cars like them. We want to live in the same places like them. But this proverb is advising us that we should not compare ourselves to other people. And then number 3, which is our final nugget of wisdom, it says that your mindset matters. Where you focus your mind on a day-to-day basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, really matters. And this reminds me of why I do this show, the African Father in America podcast, particularly the Daily African Proverbs, where every single day I bring you brand new African proverbs that my team and I research, and we bring them to you so that we can dissect them and learn something new. This is my way of starting the day. I wake up around 5 a.m. lately here in Seattle, Washington. It's cold outside, and a lot of people where I am are still in bed, but I am extremely determined to ensure that we continue bringing you this show every single day. So I hope you have your cup of coffee and you are really training yourself, similar to how these social media platforms work, whether it's YouTube where we are live, or Instagram, or LinkedIn, or TikTok. The algorithms that manage those websites and those platforms are very much similar to the algorithms in our own systems, in our own bodies, So how you train your body is how it's going to respond, How you train your mindset is how it's going to respond. If you train your mind and your body to be grateful for the things that you already have, you'll find yourself becoming that, But if you train yourself to always want more, you always want more, you can never have enough, So those are some of our 3 nuggets of wisdom for today's show. And also I want to repeat the proverb for the sake of those who might have just joined us. The proverb says, people don't count what they get, they count what they don't get. That's a really beautiful proverb. Again, if you're following me, if you are watching on TikTok, take a minute and follow me over there. And if you're watching on YouTube, take a minute and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this from, let's say, LinkedIn or Facebook, if you want to get to me on YouTube, the best way to do that is to look up at Okello Javan or African Father in America podcast, and you'll be able to find us live right now. And remember to subscribe. Now, I want to just quickly focus on some of my friends and family and supporters who are joining us for the show today. Remember, if you want me to give you a shout out, the best way to do that is to go on YouTube and comment down there. Then we can, give you some recognition here. This morning we were supposed to have a guest, but there was confusion a lot of the time because of the time differences. We have guests in Africa while I am here in the diaspora in Seattle, Washington. We have guests from the Caribbean. We have guests from all over the world. So dealing with the time difference can sometimes be challenging. So I won't say who the guest was supposed to be today, but it was supposed to be a really, really beautiful conversation. And because of the time difference, we are not having a guest, but I am the guest. I'm the host and the guest. Anyhow, let's see what's going on in the YouTube chats here for a second. I see that Kesiwa is saying that this proverb is literally the capitalist mantra. Meanwhile, it takes time to attain what you don't have. Yes. That's so funny. I wonder how this proverb is a capitalist mantra. I want to learn more about that, Kesiwa. Tell me more in the chats. And also M. Jewel is saying that she's joining us from Florida by way of Harlem. That's beautiful. Of course, Stephen is also joining us there from Kisumu. And M. Jewel says that it's about keeping up with the Jones. Besides, you do know how they acquired what they have. Interesting. Okay, great. I think this is a continuation to what Kesiwa was saying out there in regards to this proverb being a capitalist mantra. I have to read this proverb one more time just to ensure that I also follow this thought train that makes this proverb a capitalist mantra. The proverb says that people don't count what they get, they count what they don't get. Yeah, it is. I think capitalists, whether it's the capitalists that run the United States or capitalists that run China, I think China is another capitalist state in a way, because they're always acquiring. If you look at the things that they're acquiring in the motherland, if you look at the people that have Chinese debts, I think they're a good example too. But it's true, this is a capitalist mantra. I now see it in a very different way. So our ancestors knew how to train us to become capitalists. Because I see that that's what they were trying to tell us, but maybe we didn't get it, or maybe some of us got it and they're utilizing this proverb appropriately. What is it that this proverb means to you? I want to see in the comments, similar to how Kesiwa and M. Jewel shared with us their perspectives. I would love to hear your own perspective if you're watching this on YouTube. Yesterday I was driving, running errands here and there, and I was listening to yesterday's episode of the African Father in America podcast, and I realized that I love this show, and I'm also one of the biggest critics of this show and generally the things that I do. So I just felt that I need to give the people who are listening and not watching more shout outs and more recognition, because I'm always just focusing on our viewers because I'm looking at the camera as we speak. But sometimes I forget that there are people who they just listen to the show while they drive. They just listen to the show while they cook or work out. So I just want everyone who never watches the show but just listens to it to know that you're also deeply appreciated, and I truly appreciate the support. Without all the listeners, the African Father in America podcast would not be a 5-star rated podcast on Apple. I want to read more comments, so if you're watching on YouTube, take a moment and just type in the comments where in the world you're joining us from, and also what today's proverb means to you. The proverb is from Kenya. I was just in Kenya recently, by the way. The proverb says, people don't count what they get, they count what they don't get. What does this bring to your mind? Share with me in the comments on YouTube. But if you want to share in the comments on LinkedIn, that's fine. If you want to share in the comments on Facebook, that's fine. I just want to hear more from you, because with Proverbs, you have to have a conversation around them. You have to talk about them. And in our current situation, the best way to talk is through you typing, so that we can hear what your perspectives are. I really, really want to thank you all for taking your time. I know you could have been elsewhere doing something else during this time of the day, and you chose to be here for the African Father in America podcast. So I deeply appreciate that. I see a few more comments here. I want to go ahead and, share with you what I'm reading. My brother Earth, is here as well. He says, he's sending love to the whole village, to the whole family. And then William Jackson, who is an incredible educator and has also been a guest on the show, is also in the chats. And William is saying that, this proverb is about capitalism, trade, and commerce. He's saying that this proverb is about capitalism because that is so about capitalism, trade, and commerce, and was brought to the world together and increased the demand for wanting more stuff. Yeah. I think the proverb is like everyone else in the chat is saying, it's about amassing more things and not focusing on what you already have. And that's a habit that many people have, many of us have. I have it sometime, where I just want more and more, but I forget that I probably already have enough. I also want to give a shout out to Cabs Destiny, who is joining us as well on YouTube. And Cabs, thank you again for all your support. I miss engaging you and everyone else live on Clubhouse, but we have to experiment. We have to expand the footprint of the African Father in America show. So Cabs is saying you should be grateful for what you have, but we tend to focus on what we don't have. That's true. Cabs is someone who practices gratitude a lot. And I think this proverb is something that, you could speak to for hours. Now, as we get close to the end of our time together today, I just want to, again, appreciate each and every one of you who contributed by commenting with your own interpretation of today's proverb on YouTube. And one more time, I'll just share the proverb from Kenya. It says, people don't count what they get, they count what they don't get. I just want to say that when I was in Kenya recently, I really enjoyed a lot of things that I don't have here in the diaspora. And while I was there, I also realized that a lot of people felt that I had so much that they did not have, And so this proverb is just a reminder that each person has something that the other person does not have. And it's always important to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Think about, think about your routine every day. For me, one of the first things I do when I wake up is to meditate, and then do this show, which is also part of my meditation, so that I can just reflect on what do I have, what do I not have, what do I have that I don't really need, and what do I have that I need to give away, because sometimes when you have a lot and you give away, you allow yourself to get more, so I think our ancestors, in sharing this proverb, also wanted us to be aware about giving, about giving. The more you have, the more you should give. But when we think about this as a capitalistic thing, most capitalists who have acquired so much, they rarely want to give, even if people are suffering next door. If you think about my trip in Kenya, I went to a place like Kibera, which is one of the biggest slums in Kenya. But next door to Kibera, you find some of the most leafy neighborhoods, and the people who live in those neighborhoods don't care about the slums next door. They just care about the helicopters that is going to airlift them from their compound so that they don't have to drive in the traffic that they probably created in the traffic. They don't want to drive in the pollution. So it's really a matter of us waking up to what this proverb is advising us. Count your blessings. Don't just count your problems. I want to add a few things here in regards to comments. I see that Brother Earth is saying his pops always used to remind him, a child doesn't remember the 7,653 times they say yes. They remember the 3 no's. I love that. I love that, especially because my children sometimes feel like that, when I tell them they can't have a snack, they flip, they completely lose their mind. But when I tell them you can have a snack, all day I just say yes. But the moment you say no, you are very, very mean. You're very, very, you're not nice. So I love what Brother Earth is saying there. And I just want to thank you all for taking your time and joining us for today's show. I want to make sure you take advantage of the opportunities that we have for you. We have a lot of collaborations and partnerships that we are doing with amazing brands. For example, Hostwinds is the company that I use for hosting my website and for hosting One Vibe Africa's website. We have an opportunity for you to host your website with them as well. So if you look at the description of this video, you'll be able to learn more about how you can do that. There's a link there that will get you there. We also have an opportunity for you to host your show like the African Father in America podcast, through eCam, the program that we use for live streaming. That is also in the description of this video on YouTube, And then, we have many other opportunities. For example, I use Descript, another program for editing this show, cutting it into videos that are good for TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts. You can also get access to Descript in the description of today's video. So, those are just a few of the opportunities we want to share with you. We are always looking for ways to collaborate with you, our listeners, our viewers, and our community members. I just want to remind you all that what we do here is really, really powerful. There are many people that I have met through this show that we have now met in person and done really great things. For example, this last Friday, during Kijiji Night. Kijiji Night is an annual event that happens during Black History Month that I host here in Seattle, Washington. One of the performers for Kijiji Night this year is someone that I met through this show. His name is Johnny No Good. He did an amazing performance, and you will soon be seeing the videos and the pictures online. But I want you to know that this space is special, this space is beautiful, and this space is your space. So if you want to be a guest on the show, let me know in the DMs, just send me a DM and I'll be able to share with you the link that you can use to book to be a guest on this beautiful show. So with those few comments and with our proverb for the day and our 3 nuggets of wisdom. I just want to thank you really for taking your time and for continuing to support. Have a beautiful day, and we will see you tomorrow, same time and same vibration. Peace and love. Take great care of yourselves. Thanks a lot.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington.